what's up guys? It's Steve Sleepy from Moto Stories with Unkie Phil. I'm usually the guy behind the camera, but occasionally I pop out to maybe give you a tip or a trick. So I got about 3 emails and 2 texts from a couple people asking why I was so hot and bothered about grabbing an Africa Twin. Because if you listen to the Cleveland Moto podcast, you know for the last bunch of months I've been searching for one. A couple weeks ago I finally found one, and me and Oscar went out to almost Buffalo, New York, in the middle of a snowstorm that you couldn't even see the highway, and I picked this guy up. 3,000 miles, mint condition, lots of cool farkles on it. And here's the gig. So obviously if you follow bikes at all, you know that there's now a whole second generation, almost a third generation of Africa Twins between the adventure sports and then the new models, etc. And so the 2016s and 17s are starting to go for some reasonable rates. So like this one, 3,000 miles, it has a skid plate, crash bars, a whole bunch of things done to it, a really nice seat. It had pannier racks, all the stuff that I'd have to add, wanted to add, and they were all done properly and correctly. And I got the bike for around $9,500, which is a steal for what the bike is. I've owned a ton of adventure bikes. I started with KLR 650, I went to a Husqvarna TE 610, Super Tenere, FJ09, which is not really an adventure bike, I think, but it still kind of fits the category. And now finally the Africa Twin. All the bikes I mentioned are great bikes. They all have different characters. TE 610 was a great off-road bike, unbelievable off-road bike, but slabbing it on the pavement kind of sucked. It's single and it vibrates and it makes your hands go numb, etc. KLR 650 was a great bike, same thing though, it just kind of vibrated too much, wasn't really what I liked. Super Tenere was great, it's a very reliable bike, but it's like a tractor. It's like driving a John Deere tractor. It has absolutely no character. It's not really that fun and twisties. You really got to put your meat into it to get that sucker to move around and do things. Finally, the FJ09 I really liked. It's more street-oriented, obviously. You can take it down a fire road, it's not going to hurt it. But the triple on that motor, I like to lug motors. I like to get around 3,200 RPM sometimes, and that motor didn't like it. It had a weird vibration when I was lugging it. But you get around 4,500 and it was smooth as butter. But, you know, different riding styles, different things, so I just moved on from the bike. And I picked up the Africa Twin. So today, I live in Ohio. You guys know we're all from Ohio. 2 days ago it was snowing, today it was 70. It rained yesterday, which washed all the salt off the roads. And so that gave me an opportunity to get out today, and I put about 180 miles on the Africa Twin. And I have to say, it is awesome. The motor is such a sweetie. It is so smooth and so predictable. The torque is awesome from 0 all the way up through it. The gear changes are smooth. The suspension is ridiculous. Like there's bumps that I've known forever on different roads and I didn't even feel them on this bike. It took me about 10 minutes to feel completely comfortable and feel like I've owned this bike for 10 years. I am really stoked about it. It does have some downfalls. It has tubed tires. So now my panniers and stuff are filled with 2 spare tubes and tire spoons and all this other shit that I wouldn't need on another bike. I could simply have a little patch kit or something. So, you know, I mean, maybe down the road I'll find some tubeless tires. I know there's a couple companies that make them that are more like the BMW style, where the spoke nibbles come out the side of the rim, and that lets you run tubeless tires without any issues. That might be a decent upgrade. But besides that, man, what a deal. Like, as new generations of bikes come out, so as you guys know that there's the new Africa Twin, the Africa Twin Adventure Sport, it's like the Generation 2. So these Generation 1s are really fairly affordable for what they are. And I think the bang for the buck that you get with this bike is ridiculous. So I did a little time lapse of me and Hoff riding around. He was on his, what was he riding? Transalp. So he was on his like 1986 Transalp, and it was kicking ass and riding great. And then this thing. So we had a really fun day. 70 degrees in Ohio, you can't not ride. So we snuck out and rode. And this is just a quick little review of the Africa Twin. You guys had asked why I wanted one and what was the deal. Well, that's it. I love Hondas. I'm kind of a Honda guy at heart. I've always wanted the Africa Twin, even in the 90s when the original Africa Twin came out. So this thing came up, 3,000 miles, the color scheme I like. I had to get it. So there you go, guys. That's a quick, short, to the point review of the 2016 Africa Twin. So if you're looking at the 2022s, they're probably even better. But if you're looking at a 2016, you can't go wrong, man. So with that, ride fast and take chances. And I guess I'll push my own red button. Bah, 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 bah.